Anyway, food stamp benefits going to be cut to more than 47 million Americans starting today as a temporary boost to the program comes to an end because of the budget deadlock. Under the program, which is formerly known as the Supplemental Nutrition and Assistance Program, SNAP. Under the program, a family of four that gets $668 a month in benefits will find that amount cut by $36. You know, I look at this family of four that just gets $668 a month. That's real money. I mean, you add 47 million times that. That is real money. $668 per month. I remember when I was Sacramento. Now, admittedly, this is 1980, what would it have been, 86. I had a friend who loved to go to Reno. And he hired a limo, and he took me with him. I didn't have any money. I mean, I was doing okay, but I didn't have money to gamble. I didn't have money to play around at a casino. This guy, in order to have companionship, gave me $500. Said, here, go get some chips. And I put that $500 in my pocket because it was a house payment. I felt like my ship had come in. It's just mere $500. And I don't care if it's 20 years ago. That $668 a month, that is a lot to be given. And then you multiply that times 47 million. And now we're about to have a panic because that $668 is going to be $632. There's going to be a $36 cut. This food stamp program, it says here, benefits 1 in 7 Americans. That's outrageous. Is it any wonder 90 million Americans out of work and they're all eating? What do you want, Mr. Limbaugh? Do you want them to starve? No, of course I want people to work. I want people to learn to provide for themselves. I want people to make the best of their life, for crying out, not just be a sponge. I just think it's so destructive to do this to people. $668 a month times 47 million. 1 in 7 Americans is on this program. And it says here vulnerable populations will be hardest hit by the cuts. Well, of course. In New York, more than 1 million elderly people or those with disabilities will feel the impact. About 2.3 million children in both California and Texas will be affected. In California overall, the cuts will affect more than 4 million residents, will amount to the equivalent of losing 21 individual meals per month based on calculations used by... It's as though these people can't provide even an M&M for themselves. From the idea that without food stamps, people are going to starve. How bad is that? And you understand when I say this, the liberals listening to me thinking, my God, how could you be so mean and cruel? And I think it's the exact opposite of mean and cruel. I think the idea that people will... We've got a story in USA Today about people might go hungry with a $36 a month cut in the food stamp budget. Something is really, really wrong. It was like the school lunch cuts back in 1995. What, parents unable to feed their own kids if the school lunch program is cut, which it wasn't, but this hypothetically, we cut the school lunch program and kids are going to starve? How does that work? Do parents not know how to feed their own kids? We're really going to lose... People are going to go without 21 meals this month because they have a $36 cut in their food stamp allotment? The idea that that is perceived as reality is what perpetuates programs like this and increasing them. And the idea that suggesting that people maybe take care of themselves is offensive, that is insulting. I remember during the heat of the homeless fraud, in the early days of this program, you had Mitch Snyder and the boys running around saying there are 3 million homeless, and there never were 3 million homeless. And I said, have these people ever thought about maybe getting a job? And I was set upon by the media. Well, easy for you to say, get a job, as though there's something insulting about suggesting somebody go work. And it was insensitive to suggest such a thing. And it proved that I was a brute and a mean-spirited whatever. But you do what you have to do. Okay, so you're getting $668 a month, and they're going to take $36 away. So you're just going to sit there and starve. And that's, of course, what the left wants you to think will happen. That people cannot get up every day without the government being right there. And then they can't get to the shower right without the government being right there. And they can't do whatever. They can't brush their teeth. They can't wash their hair. They can't do it unless government's right there. And then they can't leave the house and go to work because unless the government's right there, making sure they cross the street safely. And then they can't, once they get to work, well, they're not going to work. Forget that. And wherever they go, they can't get there unless government's involved. This destroying people. This is literally destroying people. It's taking away their potential as human beings, taking away their dignity. And all of this, by the way, so that Republicans can be blamed. This cut in the food stamp program, you watch, this is just to facilitate the Republicans being categorized mean-spirited, heartless, cold-hearted, poor people having their food budget cut because the Republicans wouldn't extend the budget, blah, 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 blah. In the meantime, this country has been set up, defrauded, and lied to by the current president in ways that have not happened in my lifetime by whoever you think the worst president is. It's unprecedented. Purposeful deceit and fraud to get people to reelect a guy to implement a program that was not honest. People weren't honest about it. And it's going to end up costing everybody more. It's going to wreck their health care. It's going to wreck the whole health care system. It's in the process of doing that. Now you got hospitals pulling out of it. Full hospitals are saying, we're not participating. They can't stay in business if they do. They're going to try to make it on their own with patients, customers, and so forth who are also not participating. Got to take a break. If I don't, folks, I'll keep going here till 3 o'clock without stopping. I could. Let's take a look at the name of the food stamp program, Supplemental Nutritional Program. It's not supposed to pay for all of your food. It's not supposed to pay for all of your beer. It's not supposed to pay for all of your cigarettes. It's not supposed to pay for all of your candy bars. It's a supplement. Under the program, the citizen is still to provide the bulk of his own food, just like Social Security was a supplemental retirement fund. You're not supposed to depend upon it entirely. But that's out the window now. That's gone.